If you're dreading the next few weeks at work, this video is for you. Whether you're still recovering from the Thanksgiving break or looking ahead to the December holiday season, wherever you are in the world, toxic workplaces don't take a holiday break. In fact, I think they actually get a bit worse during the festive season. And if you work in charity or caregiving roles, then you're dealing with a unique combination of pressures which can make the coming weeks even harder. My name's Lucy, and today my friend and I are going to share 5 reasons why toxic workplaces actually get worse during the holiday season, but crucially, we're going to share some practical strategies that you can use to hopefully help you survive and thrive until January and beyond into the new year. I've spent decades working in and with non-profit organisations. Don't actually know where this guy's been. I coach leaders and teams who are dealing with toxic workplace cultures and helping to put them right. Here on this channel, Lucy on Life, I share content to help you deal with these issues too, and hopefully help you to be happy in work and happy in life. So I'm going to get this guy, I'm going to put him there. He'll probably fall right off. So I've got my tea, I've got my friend. The first reason that toxic workplaces get worse at holiday time is that forced festivity. Suddenly there are mandatory Christmas parties, secret Santa that isn't that secret, horrible Christmas jumper days. It all feels a bit fake and a bit forced. It's a kind of team fun that doesn't feel fun at all. In case you're wondering what it says on my mug, a friend gave me this Queen of Birmingham mug as a bit of a joke when I moved here from London. So don't worry, I don't think I'm the Queen of Birmingham at all, far from it. In a healthy workplace, these activities are genuinely inclusive and genuinely enjoyable. They're things that you want to do with your colleagues. But in a toxic workplace, they become another form of control, a kind of performance. You're expected to show enthusiasm, you're expected to prove that you're a team player, in inverted commas. You're expected to demonstrate that you're happy, really, when the truth is far from it. And what makes it especially hard in the non-profit or caregiving profession is that you're doing good work, so you're supposed to enjoy it. There's an added layer of pressure. You should be grateful, so you should be happy. It's as though the mission becomes weaponized against your true feelings. Plus, at the end of the year, in charities, we're dealing with a busy event schedule, end of year targets, planning for the year ahead, and the pressures of demand on our services as well. So it all adds up. I worked with a charity leader whose team were expected to attend a 3-hour Christmas lunch. And in fact, I've experienced this myself, where there was a Christmas party and we were so busy, it just felt excruciating to have to leave our desks. And in fact, I think I went to the lunch for an hour or so, and then I went back to work. So it wasn't at all relaxing. It wasn't at all fun. The leadership talked about needing to be there to celebrate the team. But when you've got impossible workloads, impossible demands, impossible targets, it feels anything but a celebration. But here's what you can do. You can be selective. So like I did in that moment, I attended the lunch. I was there for maximum an hour, and then I went back to work, and I think a couple of my team came with me, and we carried on with what we needed to do. If you're being invited to events that you don't really want to go to, you can cite out of work prior commitments to let you off the hook. If you must attend, set a time limit, put in an appearance, show your face, and then leave knowing that you've done what you need to do. And please don't feel guilty about this. You're not being a Grinch by protecting your energy. You're being realistic about what you can manage, and that's absolutely fine. If someone pressures you, try this phrase: I really value team connection, and I'll be at the Christmas lunch, but I really need to protect my energy right now. In this way, you're being professional while setting a boundary. The second reason toxic workplaces get worse during the holidays is the collision of workload pressures with fewer people at work. December has fewer working days, people are taking leave, there's often illness in the team, and so the workforce is smaller, is reduced, but the work that's required isn't reduced, it's the same if not more. At this time of year, there are year-end reports, budget planning for next year, targets to meet, and in the charity sector, a December fundraising can make or break your entire year. And this was particularly the case some years ago. I was fundraising director at a children's cancer charity, and December was just so tough because we would have such a busy calendar of events going on. We were a children's charity, so Christmas was a big deal anyway, and caring for children that are ill at Christmas made it even more of a focus. So we'd have all kinds of events going on through the calendar, and the pressure to fundraise at that time was immense, because that we knew that a good December meant a good year, and we wouldn't know the results of all of the activities until we came back into January, and by then the year's gone, and so it was very, very tough. So the idea of celebrating as a team was just very difficult, and I remember always feeling ill around that time, because you'd be, so the days are shorter, it's cold and wet, and we'd be surviving on doses of Lemsip and sort of limping through. And Christmas, to me, I just used to be flat on my back. I used to be exhausted. So it can be a really tough time of year. So here's what I would recommend. It's not necessarily what I did, but if I was advising someone today, I would advise that you get crystal clear clarity about what the priorities are for that period. Work with your manager to do this. Maybe email your manager and say something like, I want to make sure I'm focusing on the right things in this period. Given capacity in December, which of these projects are the absolute priority, and make them choose. Create your own priority list and stick to it. Work through it methodically. When new things that are urgent crop up, and of course they will, refer back to that priority conversation you had with your boss. And of course, document everything. If you're being asked to do impossible things, then keep a record. This isn't because you're necessarily going to use it, but it does help to keep perspective if you've got things written down. And if it feels like things are getting on top of you, you're not failing. You've been set up to fail because you've been given an impossible list of tasks, and there's a difference. The third reason toxic workplaces get worse during the holidays is what I call performative gratitude. Leadership are so grateful for all of the hard work that the team have put in, but it's not the truth, that they're not truly grateful. Suddenly, leadership is talking about how grateful they are for everybody's hard work and how appreciative they are of the team. But the problem with that is gratitude without action is just words. If they're so grateful, why haven't they addressed the understaffing? Why are they micromanaging? Why hasn't the bullying been dealt with? Why are the same toxic patterns still continuing? In healthy workplaces, true gratitude is shown all year round, not just at Christmas. It's shown through adequate pay, progression routes, support for development, reasonable workloads, genuine flexibility, addressing issues when they arise. In toxic workplaces, December becomes this theatre of appreciation, if you like, a pantomime. Maybe there's a speech at the Christmas party, but the underlying issues remain the same, and they're still going to be there in January if not addressed by leadership. People don't want hollow speeches. They want problems to be addressed openly and transparently. Your strategy here is not to expect too much. Don't believe in the performance of gratitude. Protect your emotions. Don't expect that the empty Christmas speech will mean things will change in January. But of course, if you receive genuine appreciation from a colleague or a specific manager who has supported you, then receive that genuine support and thanks. It's real. The fourth reason is skeleton staffing. While donors, service users, clients still have expectations of service, you might be operating on a smaller workforce. In a well-managed workplace, workload is distributed fairly and evenly, and planning for the future, for future dips when many people want to take leave, is done. Many viewers of my videos have reported being expected to cover for either vacancies or colleagues that are on leave, and with no care for their own needs for to take leave. That's a sign of a toxic workplace if you're expected to cover multiple people maybe while they're on leave, and then if you take leave, you come back to chaos or passive aggressive comments about taking leave. Everybody has a leave entitlement that should be fairly and evenly managed throughout the team. In that example I just talked about, when I worked at a children's cancer charity, of course people wanted to take holidays at that period, but we would work it through and make it fair and make sure it wasn't only certain people who took time off at that time of year. Some people observe different holidays, so maybe they don't mind, but if you can have an open conversation about who's willing to have leave, take their leave at different times of the year, or who has particular family demands that mean they need to take time off, then have that open conversation so it's fair, transparent, and people aren't expected to cover for their colleagues year in, year out. What I recommend clearly to organisations is encourage your staff to take the leave that they're entitled to. Make sure that that's managed fairly. If you're taking leave yourself, write a clear handover email for any things that may crop up while you're away. And when you come back, don't apologise. You are entitled to your leave, and everybody should, fairly understand that. It's really important. You can't keep going. Leave is an entitlement to workers for a reason. We do need time off. And if you're the one covering, be realistic about what you can accomplish. Work with the person that you're covering for on the things that you'll be covering, but you can't do 3 or 4 people's jobs at once. So don't feel bad that some things may have to wait till they come back. Make a list of what you can reasonably accomplish and communicate that clearly. And the 5th reason I wanted to talk about why toxic workplaces get so much worse during holidays is that insidious "we're a family" narrative. Not everybody's family is a good place anyway, so I think that's dangerous language to be using. Of course, December is family time, so toxic workplaces lean into that narrative. I've had many comments to my videos about people experiencing the "we're a family" narrative at their toxic workplaces, but workplaces aren't families. Families don't pay you for a start. Well, I don't know if families do, maybe somewhere. Families don't have HR departments. Families don't have end of year reports, and healthy families don't gaslight you or create unrealistic expectations. I think this narrative is particularly toxic because it exploits your very human, very natural care. You do care about your colleagues. You do care about the mission. So when leadership says you need to be here for the family, it feels wrong to say no. But the truth is, a workplace is not a family. Well, unless it's a family business, which has its own, will have its own complexities. It should be a professional relationship based on mutual benefit. You do the work, you get the compensation. And hopefully you get a healthy work environment, doing work that inspires you, that fulfills you. When leadership invokes that family narrative, I think that they're stepping out of that professional boundary and maybe expecting you to give more than your contract says, without necessarily giving anything more in return. I think the thing to do is, when you hear that family language, to translate it in your head. It's as though we're a family means I need you to prioritise our needs as an organisation over your own personal needs. It's as though the we're a family narrative means that we expect you to go beyond the bounds of your contract, beyond your boundaries, that we go above and beyond narrative. That's not necessarily professional. The strategy you can use is to respond professionally to whatever extra request is being made, and say something like, I'm committed to doing my job well, and I'll do X thing, whatever you're able to do, but my plans are set and I can't change them. Full stop. Don't need to say any more. You've been professional, you've been clear, you've said what you can do, and you've set your boundaries. You don't need to justify or explain. You're entitled to do whatever you like outside work, and if you've got plans that you've already set, then that's fine. Any reasonable employer should accept that. I don't think organisations that genuinely value their people need to use language about family. That genuine value comes through by their actions, not this fake language. So there we have it. 5 reasons that toxic workplaces get worse in the holidays: forced festivity, year-end pressure with reduced capacity, performative gratitude while nothing changes, skeleton staffing that creates impossible situations, and emotional manipulation using that language about family. If you recognise your workplace in this video, please know that you're not alone. The comments on my videos about toxic workplaces will show you that. And I hope these strategies will help get you through. If you're watching this and thinking, I can't do this anymore, I hear you. Over the coming weeks in my videos, I'm going to be helping you with strategies about what to do next, whether that's setting better boundaries, having different conversations, or thinking through options for the future. I've got plenty of content lined up to share. So if this resonated, please subscribe so you don't miss the future videos. I publish new content every Wednesday. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I get so much from the comments that people share to my videos, and they give me ideas for future content. Which of these examples resonated most for you? What experiences have you had? And what you're going to be doing over the holidays yourself. Do share. Really interested to know what people have got planned. If you found something helpful in this video, then do give the video a like. It helps more people find the content, which might be helpful to them as well. Thank you so much for being here. And from me and this guy, happy holidays.